Good morning, everybody. Tonight is Rosh Hashanah, and even though we can't all be together, sadly, this year, we are definitely thinking of all of you and sending you tremendous wishes for the most inspiring, deepest Rosh Hashanah experience you could possibly have. I want to tell you a story. You know, what do you pray for on Rosh Hashanah? That's the question. So there's a great story. There was a tzaddik who lived in the city of Sans, and he used to gather his disciples and his students together every year, and he would always tell them the same story. You know this story, Yosef? Have I ever told you this story?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell it to you now. The story was that there was a king, and the king had a son, kind of like I have a son.
There's a lot of stories.
Yes, a lot of stories of a king and a son. So the king had a son, but the son had fallen out of favor with the king. So the son had been sent into exile. And he was living with a bunch of people who were workers. And the winter was coming. So what do you do in the winter when it gets cold? You have to build a shelter. So they built a hut. Each one of them built a hut. But he did not know how to build a hut because he was a prince. Princes generally don't have to build huts. So what happened? So there was a rumor going around town that the king was coming to town. And king had a custom that whenever the king passed by a town, you could throw a note into his chariot.
I know the story.
And he would read the note, and whatever the note said, he would grant the wish. So, sure enough, the king's coming into town, and the son writes a note, and he throws it into the king's chariot, and it lands in the king's chariot, and the king opens it up, and he sees that it's his son's handwriting, and he's so excited. He's going to ask to come back to the palace. He's going to ask to come home and to be with his family again and to be reunited, to become part of the family. And he reads it up, and he says, and looks, and what does it say? It says, "Please, king, can you send me a hut?" So depressing. Right? He could have asked for anything in the world. He could have said, "My father, please take me home. Let me come back. Let me resume and become a part of what was." So I don't know what you're going to pray for this Rosh Hashanah, but I'll tell you one thing. Don't pray for a hut. Pray for something deep. Figure it out. You have a few more hours. Figure out what's the deepest yearning, the deepest desire that you have inside of you. Find out what that is. You have a few hours. Get in touch with it. Figure out what it is and pray for that this year on Rosh Hashanah. And God willing, next year we'll all be together. We won't have to be separated anymore. We won't have to be sending out videos. If you want to read my sermon this year, I'm including it here in the email. You can read it. Sadly, we're not going to all be together. I won't be able to read the sermon. I guess some people maybe won't be so sad about that.
Me.
But a lot of people will be. You know, people are sad. So you can read the sermon this year. Hopefully you'll do that and you'll enjoy. Anyway, I'm rambling. On behalf of Allie and myself and all of my kids and the whole family, we are sending tremendous love to the L'chaim Center family, wishing you all and blessing you all with a sweet new year, a year filled with fulfillment of all your deepest dreams and yearnings. It may be a year of healing and health for all of Klal Yisrael and for the entire world. Yosef, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Tova, make this year full of health and happiness.
Have a wonderful Rosh Hashanah.